Now, oh, yours, this is the bad mic. You gotta grab a different one. That one's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
And it's on. Oh, yeah.
Which one is it? Oh, just the forward. Yeah, you got it. Now you help me get this. Or maybe. Yeah, because it will fall out. And is that, this needs to be on,
It's on.
oh, like that?
Hold on. Okay, now it's on.
Okay, they can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome to team meeting. So many of you were early, I'm impressed. So a few of our leaders are in Austin this week, not in Austin, in Dallas, for a few days learning how to be even better leaders for you. So I'm here, and while the boss is away, we're gonna play, okay? So we'll just go through some slides, and then we have a really great person with us that's gonna share what he's done to be successful. And I know every one of you is going to take something away, and I would just encourage you to apply it, hear it, apply it, act on it, and do something different. Take something from him that you're not already doing. So let's go through some important things here. Bucket fills. No pressure, by the way. Bucket fills. Who has something that they've seen, witnessed, felt from another agent that has made them feel seen, loved, or heard? Yes.
Mom would come around.
Okay, I'll give Todd a shout out. He's not here, but I had a transaction that mom would come around every stressful moment, inspection, whatever. And we know mom didn't know anything. She had no business being there. I literally had to bring Todd to be in the corner because mom was just so inappropriate, like touching my hair, fixing my necklace, like not knowing her place and her space. And she's not my client. So that shout out to Todd for just showing up for me and being there with me when he didn't have to.
That's so kind. And what a rescue. I bet we could write volumes of books on weird experiences like that. Sadly. But at least they keep us going, right? Surprised. Oh, wait, that's not enough. One more person, bucket fill. Yes.
Marcel closed my grandma's home the other week, and he didn't make her come in. He went over to her nursing home. She has Parkinson's, sat down with her, was just so sweet. My grandma was in tears by the end of it because he just made it so simple and easy. She's bought and sold a lot of houses, and she said this was the easiest. And an agent here helped her out. So I'm very, very, very thankful.
That's what it's all about. We can make you cookies. He helped me a few weeks ago with my daughters, and I was so not present. He just took over, and I appreciate it too. Is there anyone else before I move on? Okay, just say it in your heart. All right, we have really cool visitors with us today. So I'm gonna let them take the floor, explain why they're here and what they have to offer us.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Speaking of seen, loved, and heard, I am Whitney and I'm with Right Homes. Taylor's a security national. He'll introduce himself a little bit later, but we are here just in appreciation of you guys. And we have two things to talk about today, but one, first and foremost, I do want to express our appreciation for our outside realtors for Right Homes. And we do, myself and the company, value so much our teamwork in transactions and you bringing your clients to us. So my second purpose of being here today is to talk about a new community that we have and just spread awareness so that you know that we exist and that you can come visit us. Let me figure out how to, okay, that's me. And this is my partner, Kenny, who's out at our new community as well. This is Joshua Tree. In Joshua Tree, we're located out in, I think I have a map, out in Harriman. So we're down 126 and just past 6400 West. We have 3 products out here. Oh, they put my little grand opening first. There we go. We have 3 products out at Joshua Tree. We have a single family product, a 2-story townhome, and a 3-story townhome. We start in the 430s, and then the single family starts in the 615s. We've got the community has an HOA where it's fully landscaped and fully maintained. And then we are getting our word out about our grand opening on June 21st. This QR code will send you to an Eventbrite invite. We've got swig, we've got some other fun activities planned. We would love you to send that to your clients, to your friends, your family. Come have a good time and walk through our models. We do have move-in ready townhomes now, so you don't need to wait for June 21st to come take a look and walk through our models. I'll love to chat with you after. We'll have some warm lunch for you here shortly after you take care of your important business. But I'll let Taylor share a little bit about our preferred lender incentive.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Sorry.
So I'm Taylor Wright. Who here loves having to work with a builder's preferred lender? 0. Okay. We know that, okay, at Security National, and my team knows that. I know that. And it's my goal when your clients come in. I know you've got people that have worked with them already, probably pre-approved them, won them over, but my goal is to provide the best service, because I don't want them to feel like the only reason they're working with us is to get the 2% or the 3% incentive. We're really trying to make them feel special and make them feel like they've looked at all of their finances. With Right Homes, they offer on the townhomes, they're offering a 2% incentive. Usually ends up being about $10,000, $9,000 towards closing costs, and then 3% on the single families. That price wise, well, it's going to be about $15,000, probably 15,000. So with the Utah housing options, if you guys have buyers that don't have any down payment, we have the Utah housing options. We have in-house no down payment programs. So with the credit from the builder, a lot of times we can get them into a home with getting their earnest money back at closing. So they can make their $2,000 or $5,000 deposit, close on the home, and then they get their money back. Kind of makes it a little bit easier for them. So if you have any questions, anything else?
No, please just chat with us. We'll be back in the back to chat after.
Yep, and we'll have lunch in the back later. Thank you, guys.
I love that you added that blurb about working with builders, lenders. I have no doubt that you're different though. You have good energy. All right, we have birthdays this week. One more year or another year around the sun. We've got Mike, Janet, and Erica. Anybody here? Well, shout out to them because they're all just truly exceptional and as good of agents as they are people. All right, we have a holistic mortgage planning ebook that no one can explain better than Brock.
All right, hi, everybody. I gave everyone a flyer. Hopefully you have it, or you can just scan this QR code. I would love for you to download and read this and then offer feedback if you like it, if there's things that need to change. The motivation for me writing this ebook was to empower realtors and their clients with information to share with their clients on how simple it is to really create wealth and financial freedom through real estate. I think it's oftentimes the point is missed where people are like, oh man, rates are too high, it's too expensive, it's unaffordable, and they're forgetting the fact that you buy a $430,000 townhouse like they were just talking about, and they're making $2,000 per month in profit or $1,500 per month in profit with that investment of a mortgage payment every month. It's a significant move and something that there's not a comparison. There's not an investment that remotely compares to real estate. And I think we get lost in the news and the trends and the house prices are going up, house prices are coming down versus just looking at the facts that if you just buy real estate and you stick to a strategic, simple, long-term plan, you will create immense amounts of wealth if you do it right and you have a plan. That's what this book is. It simply breaks down a plan on how to leverage real estate. Even like I did a talk yesterday for the Women's Council of Realtors, and I presented this similar thing in a way of like every person could buy 2 homes. And I showed a first-time buyer buying a $450,000 townhome, and then 7 years down the road upgrading to a $750,000 single-family home, and sitting in that single-family home long-term and doing the right things with the money, which is explained in the book. They became they had a net worth of more than $4 million, a free and clear home, and $5,000 in passive retirement income based on buying 2 houses. And they did practically nothing else but acquire 2 houses and do the right thing with the money. So that's what this explains. So I put a lot of time into this, 6-9 months, something like that, writing it. It's like 60 pages, so an easy read, but I would love your feedback. And feel free to share with your clients, your friends, anybody in real estate that would find value in discovering a path to financial freedom. So thank you.
Only one Brock in the world, and it's 1111, if that means anything to anyone. But Brock, because of what you've presented, even in the last 2 months, I've been able to have a lot higher conversation values with people because I'm more educated. And the way that you teach it, I can understand. So I have this little filing cabinet, and part of it is all of Brock's material. And I look at it, the 10 ways, the 10 conversations. So thank you. You're making a huge difference. All right, 100 days of social media. Who's doing it? Anybody? Everybody? Lisa, Jana Lynn, you guys back there? Well, you can start today and it doesn't matter. You're still in the competition. So will you make sure that the Hayes team gets all the sign up? All right, so let's do our magical wheel of fun. Here, let's see who gets the surprise this week, and I'm going to have Ian explain. Tammy Loescher. I don't see her here, but she's going to be so excited. Well, this is even better. Tell us what Tammy, for her. Tell us what she gets to choose
So
from.
she gets the choice of either a $100 gift card or one of our business bundles, which would be a total agent business brand refresh, market my listing or open house, a free headshot photo shoot, 2 free yard signs, 4 free open house signs, a custom buyer and seller guide, customized KW website, a full week of done for you social, or SOI touches. So she gets the choice of one of those to help better her business.
Hey, Ian,
Yes,
are we doing the spin from last week, the one we missed?
we sent that out and it's in the email. Giovanna
thank you.
Casabana won last week's.
Awesome. Didn't know. Sorry.
Really? I didn't know. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, so keep doing it because those prizes are really good prizes. So just start today as day 1 of the 100 days. So that's awesome. Thanks. All right, Ian, explain what you have going on later this week.
This is a class later today after team meeting at 1 o'clock. This is going to help you build your pipeline. So the road to $100,000. We're going to talk about the 201 Plus Club and how it can work for you. We're going to be talking about how to use smart plans inside Command and how to build a data bank.
So this is an essential piece of learning how to build your database. So if you're new or feel like your database is lacking, you've got to come at 1 o'clock or stay for this. It will be well worth your time. Thanks, Ian. All right, we have another series of the webinar Thrive, and this Thursday we have, I don't see him, Will Van Wickler. Say that fast 3 times. So turn simple into powerful opportunities. In this session, you'll learn how to craft the perfect golden letter, a proven strategy to spark conversations, generate leads, and win more listings. Discover the key elements that make your message stand out and get homeowners to take action. Just send the letters and then you'll create results. So scan that QR code to register. It's completely complimentary. And these instructors have been handpicked throughout the nation. So a lot of really high value. Then we have a CE class. What's that?
QR code, it says the webinar has ended.
Oh, it might be. Do you think it's from last week's QR? It might be. So we'll send out the new one today.
It should be in the newsletter.
Okay, do you get the newsletter? You look in your spam folder. I bet you do. If you don't see it, it's in the spam. All right, the CE class, HECM, if someone wants to explain that. It's a real estate guide to home equity conversion. Mortgages, what you'll learn, tap into hidden purchase market to expand your client base. Who knows Tyler Eaton? Does anyone know him? Of course you do. Do you like him? So take advantage. It's free, 11 to 1. See, that makes you even more celestial in my mind. Is it? Reverse mortgage. All right. So if that's your facet, run with that. Keys to Portugal. I saw this morning and I was intrigued. Delise, tell us more.
So I'm super excited about this. So this is the Thursday night, bring your clients night. And then on Tuesday, for a team meeting, we're actually going to have the KW regional ambassador coming to our via Zoom, coming to our team meeting, and some of his allied partners that do this. But it's super exciting. Like, I just spent a week in beautiful Portugal. It was amazing. And he took us all over the south part of Portugal, and I went to some very beautiful retirement resorts. So it's like, if you want to know, or you have clients that want to know about having a second home or living full time in Portugal, coming from the US, this is not just about the properties, but this is about how you set up bank accounts, how you get a tax ID number, how you transfer money to Portugal, and how you make this dream become a reality. And it was beautiful, and I cannot wait to share details with you guys. So come, bring your clients, or if you're just curious, then and you want to hang out with me, then come Thursday night. We'll start at 7. We like to open it up the doors at 6:30 for networking, especially since the doors up top lock at 7. It says Thursday, May 15th, because it's Thursday night. This is Thursday night, and then we'll team meeting next Tuesday is when the other guys will come. But their presentation and information will be slightly different than what I present. So, and one is public facing for you to bring your clients on Thursday night, 2 days from now. And then next Tuesday, a week from today, is when we'll have the team meeting. So anyway, they're connected, but same people. The information will definitely be related to each other, but it'll be slightly different information. So please come.
I love your passion, Delise. This is what makes real estate so exciting, is that we all have these different niches, and you have just run with the investor road. And it's so cool that you get to help everyone else in the room. So find your niches, find what you're passionate about, and put that in the center of all your real estate business. And then you'll do what Delise has done. Who wants to come to the best competition of the year? I thought you'd respond that way. So next week, we've got Tossin' for Cares Cornhole Tournament, and it's a $20 buy-in with $150 value first place prize. This is the most low-key, and yet the greatest amount of fun happens at this tournament. We had it last year. It's so simple, but there are drinks, there's food, there's tables to converse at. So come, it's a lot of fun, and every dollar is going right into our KW Cares account to help our agents. All right, are we ready? Hyrum, are you ready? All right, get your paper and pens out, guys, because we are meeting one master who's built for speed, the systems, the habits, the hustles behind the rapid growth of Mr. Hyrum.
Thank you for the introduction. Appreciate it.
You give yourself a little bit of an intro, please.
Yeah, so I still feel like I'm a rookie, seeing that I'm a master. It's kind of funny in my book. I just finished my 4th year in real estate. This will be my 5th year, and each year has been better than the past. Let's see. So I got licensed in COVID, and in hindsight, that would have been a really good time to really hit the ground. But I was scared because of COVID, didn't know what was going on. So I got licensed and then didn't really do anything with it. One of the reasons I got licensed was I was just super tired of my job. I'm a person that I'm going to go above and beyond. I was working at eBay at their data center, and I was doing about 4 tickets a day, which is pretty good. The highest paid person, he was obese, couldn't really do his job. He would fall asleep, do maybe 1 ticket a day, and he got paid almost twice what I got paid. And I thought that was BS. And everyone there, I've been through different jobs, and I'll see people, I was doing a data cable tech, and there were people in there for 25 years, and they would bitch and moan about their job. And it's like, you've been here for 40 years. Like, what are you doing? So anyway, had to figure out kind of what my personality was, kind of, problem solving, believing in myself. And real estate's always been intriguing to me. So I originally got my license because I liked the idea of real estate investing. And I was like, okay, well, if I get my license, I can get connections, I can get some money, and I can start doing real estate investing. Maybe I'll go into that direction, but still really haven't dabbled as much. But anyway, I think with life, it's like people always want the answer of how do you get there? And you don't really ever know how you're going to get there. But you have to figure out, like, what's the one thing that I can do? There might be 1,000 steps, but what's the first step that I can do to have a better life? And I was like, well, these people have been working for people for 20, 30 years, and they're super unhappy. So not working for somebody is probably step one. So I got my real estate license during COVID, and then didn't actually push it until I think October. And I was like, all right, I'm over my job. So for 30 days, this is, and I think a lot of times part-time agents will have one job and then another. So trying to juggle both jobs at once can be kind of tricky. So I said, I'm going to give myself a 30-day challenge. So for 30 days, I was like, I'm going to find a way to get my first deal. So I did whatever I thought I possibly could. I reached out to every single person, like, hey, I'm a new licensed agent, like every agent does, and just kind of go in that direction. I ended up getting my first listing. It was a 1% listing because I just threw it out there like, hey, like I need something, and I was nervous. So did my first listing for 1%. Peggy, still remember her, and that was great. And then I got a couple more deals from an old manager from a call center that I used to work for. And then I got 3 deals. And then I was like, all right, well, I have roommates to help me pay for my mortgage. And I have some money stacked up. So time to bet on myself and see what happens, which is still one of the scariest things. Leaving that security of like, that $1,500 I was getting paid, I think it's $1,623, something like that, every 2 weeks. And that was consistent. And that was, easy. Not having that, you're like, oh, when am I going to get paid? So when you're in real estate, you don't know. So that's kind of how I started.
So tell me this, your mindset day one, you show up to the office. What mindset's so important in real estate? What was that day? And then how has it evolved to what it is today?
So I'm not sure what I didn't really know what my mindset needed to be. All I knew is that the more work I put in, obviously you can't do the right things long enough and not get results. You can do the right thing for a week and maybe not get results. If you go to the gym for a week, you're not going to see results. But if you eat right and you go to the gym for a year, it's impossible not to see results. You're going to see that. So kind of funny. So my mom was a real estate agent, passive, like 1 deal a year. Started with her brokerage, and then it just wasn't enough. So it's funny because I was trying to find closer brokerages, and I wanted to find someone that wasn't a part of the leadership team, because I feel like you guys are always going to push your thing. So I reached out to someone my age. I reached out to Clint. on Instagram. And I was like, hey, like, you like your brokerage, and try to vet it that way. So I met with Clint, and I felt like it was good. I mean, I saw that Clint made $100,000, and I was like, oh, 100 grand. I'm like, that's crazy. Or we're like, barely 20 years old. That was mind blowing. Yeah. So I think just mindset in general, it's just, you have to be okay with not seeing results. So everybody knows the 80-20 rule. I think real estate's 95-5. I think the 95% of the hands you shake, the people you talk to, the showings you go on, the things that you do is not going to do anything. And it sucks. But that 5% makes 95% of your business. So when you're dialing or when you're talking to people, you can't get bummed when the first 20 people don't do anything. Because then all of a sudden it all can hit at once. So how has my mindset changed? Well, in the beginning, everyone knows a real estate agent. You can throw a rock and hit one of us. So with that being said, is you're going to get your feelings hurt. It definitely sucks when you have a conversation with somebody, and then 2 months later they buy with somebody else. And you're like, I reached out to my SOI. I tried to show them houses. I did everything right. And you still fail. But I want to just say that's failure. But I think with mindset is I've grown a lot more tough skin, and I've seen agents get pissed, and it can be very emotional when your friend, your family, or whatever, when they use someone else. You have to realize when someone uses you, maybe they're hurting somebody else. And it's the flip side, because it's highly likely that the people you work with know another agent than just you. So when someone uses another agent, don't go badmouth them on social media. It makes you look stupid. Just understand that's part of the game. So that's one thing for new agents is understand you're going to get your feelings hurt a lot. Your clients are not always going to be loyal to you. And a lot of times people just want the best and cheapest thing. And that's just how a lot of people are. So mindset wise is don't get butthurt, have tough skin. And then also know that, 5-10% of the work that you do is going to make majority of your business. So it's okay if you have a day full of calls that go nowhere, no appointments, no deals, no nothing. Because if you've been in real estate long enough, you know that it ebbs and flows. I've had, this year in January, I had no closings. And then I had like 5 in a month and then for the next. And so it's like, you can't be upset about 1 month because overall it kind of levels out.
One thing I like about you is that when you came here, you immediately saw what you wanted to be. You had a vision. So you aligned that with someone that you knew would teach you what you needed to. How did that person shape your daily habits and routines?
Yeah, I kind of felt bummed that I didn't let him know because he would have been here. But Cody Felberg, he was so backtrack a little bit. I was a solo agent when I started, and I was just calling, doing like anything that I possibly could that I could somehow get business. And then there's a team called Wow House. There was Kevin and there was Cody, and their door was open, and they were talking differently than everybody else. You can hear the normal pitches and sales calls and stuff, which is fine, but they were strategizing. Remember, this is like peak COVID. This is 12, 18 offers every house within 3 days. It was a freaking nightmare. So I was drowning. I finally had, a buddy that was trying to help buy a house, but he was a Utah housing loan, didn't have any money. And when you're going up against 12 offers, you're getting your butt whooped every time. So I wanted to be on the team. Kevin said no. I want to be on the team again. I asked again. Kevin said no. Because they just didn't want to be, they didn't want people on their team. And I was like, I know I have what it takes, and you guys are different than everybody else, because there's always going to be brokerages. There's always going to be teams that say, hey, come on. For me, if you're setting the bar down low, I don't want to be on a team that has a very low bar. I want to be on a team that everyone's better and smarter than me. So I talked to Cody about it. I was like, let me just sit down and get an interview. Ended up getting on their team, and I was like, hey, I have this deal. I don't know what we're going to do. And so we wrote an addendum with 12 different items. It's crazy in how creative you had to be, because we couldn't do more price. So we had to make it more favorable to the seller, less risky, and more creative. And so I was on with Cody and Wow House for 18 months, and that's what really kind of shaped it. And when you're on a team, you're gonna see half your checks go away, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. But I told myself day one, I would rather be a 5-year agent in year 1 than take 5 years to get there. Meaning, I would rather do more deals. I'd rather do 20 deals and make 100 grand than do 10 deals and make 100 grand. Because in the beginning, you need repetitions. You need that under your belt. So I think the first year I paid like 56 grand, and I was like, wow, that's just so much money that I set. But I didn't go to college. Like that was my tuition realistically. And I would absolutely do that all over again. So that's a big thing in the beginning, is find someone that is better, faster, stronger, smarter than you, and you just soak it in.
That's so humble of you that you saw that, you knew it, and that's a tough crowd. They didn't mess around, but look what you became because of that. Mentors are so important. You've talked a lot about repeating behaviors and just digging into the grind. What does that look like every day for you?
Yeah, I think
See what a day looks like in the life of Hyrum.
it's a little bit different now, thankfully, but in the beginning, you've got to really give it in. One thing I think is kind of interesting is I've seen plenty of people come into the business and go out of the business. And the thing that I see is they are willing to work 40 hours for a corporate company, but when they're a real estate agent, they don't work 40 hours for themselves, which I think is absolutely crazy. So they get a couple deals and then they let off the gas, and then they get upset. And it's like, dude, you're working 15, 20 hours a week. You want to go make $20 an hour for 40 hours a week? Why don't you do that yourself? So that's crazy. So the way that my kind of things was I created a database. I use Follow Up Boss. Sorry, I'm not a command person. And that has been amazing. So I kind of had to figure out what I really hated, which is a great motivator, is calling someone after a couple months and say, hey, like, I know we chatted, how are things going? Oh, already bought, already sold, already did this. And I started keeping tracks of every single lead that I lost and about what they were going to buy. I'm like, cool. Now I've lost $75,000 this year because I'm not following. And so I keep track of that kind of as a punishment. So I have systems in place. So normal days, now I usually have something always under contract. So I mainly focus on those things, but you're always going to want to try to prospect. And that's what's hard, is when you have 4 or 5 deals under contract, you still have to be calling and following up with those people. Because if you don't, I've noticed if anybody reaches out about buying and you don't follow up with them at least once a month, even if they say quarterly or even if they say in the summer, if you don't follow up at least once a month and touch them, and sending a text and no response or giving them a call and a voicemail does not count. You have to actually speak with them. I've noticed if I don't talk to them at least once a month, usually that's when they start slipping through the cracks and they go. And it sucks because you're like, well, I've reached out to 200 people and I'm money on it, but I've still lost 6 deals on it. And that's part of the 90-5-5. You're not always going to get any of them, but I think you always have to be on your calling. In the beginning, it gets easy, but as time goes on, that database grows. So following up, I think, is huge. That I've always learned, just because every year I'm like, oh, I lost 12 deals. My goal is always to try to lose less deals. I'm always going to continue to lose deals. But following up is huge on that. And I think with my CRM, I can put in what their situation is, and then I create a date for me to follow up. So a lot of my day-to-day would be following up. And something is, if you call the same time every day, you're not getting answers, sleep in and work late and stay at the office until 5, 6, 7, 8, and make those calls at least once a week and try to get a different time to get them to answer.
Brilliant. How do you stay hungry? You are so successful. What do you do on the hard days? What keeps you going?
Yeah, it's I think I'm just kind of obsessive. I'm just kind of obsessed in the sense that I feel like I have a lot to give and I have a lot of energy, where I really don't want to be on my deathbed, where I'm like, yeah, I could have done more. That's not really what I want. And I feel like if I don't work my ass off and give it 100%, like, I'm wasting my life. Like, I feel like there's so much potential that, like, each one of us has. If you're not giving it all, you're wasting your life on that. And so I think it's very important to, I call it the bitch voice, when you don't want to do it, when you want to sleep in, when you want to find the easier way. Because the easy way, you're going to have the same life. The harder way, you're going to create your new life. On that way.
You need to publish a book. Really, I've learned so much.
Cool.
Tell me about the systems and tools that you use. You talked about your CRM, but what other systems do you have for following up, for staying engaged?
Yeah, and that's something that I think I could do better on, because I do want to have some, like, Someone sent me some brownies because I bought something from them. They sent me some brownies through a mailing system. So that would be a good way for home anniversaries or for birthdays. I mean, mainly my systems is Cecilia. I didn't use a transaction coordinator for a while because I was cheap. But also, I think in the beginning, if you're doing less than 10 deals a year, I think it's good for you to be your own transaction coordinator for a while, just so you know how it is. So then you can always be there as backup. But I really started using Cecilia, my transaction coordinator, a year ago, and that's been super, super nice. One of the biggest things that's been nice about is it frees up headspace because when you have 4 deals, say, for under contract, you've got your 2 buyers, you've got their lender, you've got that title company, the other side title company, and there's so many names. And so I was realizing I'm trying to remember all the names of all the people and all the transactions. There's like 30 names. Like my brain is getting fried on it. And it definitely took into my social life where my friends would be like, dude, you're always on your phone. You're never present. Where it was just always a priority. So I'd be talking to someone and I'd get a text from a client and I'd zone out. And it's been nice having a transaction coordinator in my system where I can be more present in my life, where I see a document, I just forward it to her, and I know that she's gotten it taken care of. The first few, it'll take a little while to understand your process. But I mean, my only systems really are Follow Up Boss and my transaction coordinator, and it's just learning how to use those systems on there. But if you know everybody in your database and when to reach out, it makes it a little bit easier because instead of going into work and being like, what am I going to do today? You go into work, you have all your tasks, like this is what I'm going to focus on today. It's taking out the brain work of what you're going to have to do.
You really just explained what it's like, the importance of working on your business versus in your business. Working with that paperwork isn't going to make you money. Bringing in more clients is going to make you money.
Yeah, I really realized that when I was trying to get things DocuSign and send over another paperwork, and then I had 15, 30, 40 tasks, and it just stack and stack and stack. I'm like, I can't do both. I can't do all my book work. I can't do all my follow-up, and I can't be present with, my personal life. I can't do all that. So having that, she's been awesome. Yeah.
Tell me about, you've worked a lot with online leads. What are
Mhm.
the unique challenges that have come from that facet of real estate?
That's where you really get tough skin. No one cares about you. Not no one, but basically no one. I do a lot of realtor.com leads, and that's like a 3 to 5% conversion. So it's not fun sifting through that. But if the numbers work, the numbers work. At the end of the day, like if you can spend $1,000 and you get one deal out of it, then you should be spending $10,000 to be getting 100 deals out of it per se, or 10 deals out of that. So as long as the numbers work on it with the online leads, it's hard because you don't always have a ton of good conversations, but your repetitions get so much better. I think in the beginning, you kind of get nervous about it. For me, I've had a hard time speaking too fast. And so I've been trying the past couple years to slow down and use my commas and just be a better speaker. And so even though maybe 95 out of 100 calls don't go anywhere, I'm becoming a better thinker. I'm figuring out how to problem solve, overcome objections, because people will always find a reason not to buy or whatnot, which is fine. And I think you also learn when to stop pushing, because there's people that I still followed up with that I think they're not going to go anywhere. But I'm trying to find a balance of when to keep following up and when just to put energy on someone else that's gonna be more important, or even yourself, on that. But with the online leads, they really won't care about you a ton, so it sucks. So trying to get those buyer brokers signed helps a lot. And then it's made me better at vetting people, because a lot of times you will drop your hat for your client, and when you drop your hat so much and it's not panning out, you're not going to drop your hat as easy anymore. You're going to say, hey, you're going to come to my office and you're going to meet with me. If you're not, then you're not serious, and it wasn't going to work out anyway. Because sometimes you're like, well, I didn't go and show them the house and they got pissed off, blah, blah, blah. But it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway. If they're not willing to put forth any effort to help you out, then you're most likely wasting your time.
That's great perspective. So you have these online leads and then you have your sphere of influence. A lot of us as agents, we don't want to ever appear salesy or pushy to the people that we know. How do you control that? What is the dialogue that you have to stay on top of their mind, but not feel like you're a furniture salesman?
Don't talk about real estate when you're talking to them. I think the time to talk about real estate, if they're on social media, is on social media, on your stories, doing showings, saying, hey, this is an aha, this is something that happened. Because then I'm not talking to Carrie directly, but you're seeing me know what I'm talking about. When I hit you up, I can ask about your kid and everybody else. And you're like, dude, Hyrum cares. If you are curious about real estate, you know I'm an agent, you're going to bring it up to me. Majority of times that's how it happens. So that's how I like to do it is I like to be broad about real estate to my SOI. But when I'm calling them, we're not talking about real estate. If they want to talk about real estate, we can. But then instead of you asking them, they're inviting you to talk about it. And then you're not selling because you're educating.
Tell us about just being around the right people. How has that impacted your career as an agent?
I shared an office with Cody, and my phone skills and his phone skills were way different. If you can't take it lighthearted, if you can't get your person to chuckle on the phone, it's a lot harder to do a sale. You always want to find. I've gotten really good at when I have a first time call. I kind of chat about who they are. Like Cody, has this weird power where he knows one person away from anybody in the state of Utah. He talks to one person. He's like, oh, I went to school with him. My parents grew up over there. So one is when you talk with them. Sorry, what was the question?
Just the people that you're around.
Oh, people
how
that
you
I'm
make a
around.
big difference.
Yeah. So again, like listening to Cody on the phone and how he would be lighthearted and fun. Like I was able to take that, how he's able to come with objections because instead of saying, no, you're wrong and you're dumb, you say, okay, why, like, how do you figure that? Like, why do you think that way? If you ask them questions and then they realize that they don't really have a good answer, they'll realize that they're an idiot and you don't have to tell them, and that's okay. But yeah, being around and everyone is very, very different. I think everyone has a different skill set. I've been around different people. I've been around some that are very much relationship based, where it's all like, I want you to feel really good about me. I've had people that are like, hey, I'm really analytical and I'm very smart. And I think it's good to have both. One thing that Cody taught me is you have to be a chameleon to your people, because I have certain friends because I'm a certain way. My personality is a certain way, but mine and your personalities isn't always the same. Meaning you have to figure out what type of agent you need to be for them. Because sometimes I'll have clients where I walk into a house and I'll give them, a printout and say, hey, there's all statistics about it. And they couldn't care less. I don't give it to them ever again because they don't care about the price per square foot. They don't care what the neighbors are. They don't care about anything. They want to know, does this feel nice? I like the neighborhood. I just want to feel the home. And there's other people that are like, is this a good, real estate's only investment for them, where it has to be all about number based. And if you're treating both of those people the same way, you might get one side, but you're not going to get the other side. So you've got to figure out what type of agent you need to be for that client.
I'm just amazed really, it's 2025. We're talking 5 years. You've gained all of this growth, going from a brand new agent to where you are now. Sometimes as brand new agents, they like to self-isolate. They're worried. They don't want anyone to hear conversations because they don't want to mess up. What would you say to those new agents about getting out?
The difference between someone that makes 6 figures a year and 6 figures a month is the amount of times they're willing to look stupid.
It's true, though.
It's true. I think being in the office is also very massive, where for me, if you work from home, great. Can you honestly say that if you're here for a week straight and you're at home for a week straight, are you actually having more hours at home? Probably not, because you have your pets, you have your snacks, you have your bed, you have your TV, you have all these distractions. I personally can't do that. And not everybody is that way. But for me, at least, I think being in the office and just being really strict, again, it goes back to the 40 hours. Put 40 hours here in the office. If you're doing 40 hours at home, you're probably not doing 40 hours. And it's, people are like, how do you get ahead in life? Well, you wake up earlier. Is if someone is waking up at 10, you're good. If someone's waking up at 10 o'clock every single day, well, the person that's waking up at 6 a.m. gets 4 hours more every single day. For a week, that's another day. For a full, you're getting a month and a half more than somebody else waking up at 10. And that will compound. So I think that's important, is just leveraging your time.
You're like a little Tony Robbins up here.
Thanks, I appreciate
Look
it.
how much you've grown. My baby boy's grown.
Yeah. I think it's always good to like just keep feeding your brain. Alex Hermosi is one of my favorite people. He's not real estate. He's just he's 32. He's already built multiple $100 million businesses because he's very black and white and he's very smart. I think it's, again, when you said being around other people, it's not necessarily being around. It is, but it isn't. That's part of it. I think it's what your brain is absorbing. And the more your brain absorbs certain stuff, you're going to direct that way. Like everyone says, you are the average of your 5 closest friends. You know, 5 drug addicts compared to 5 millionaires. Which one? Millionaires, obviously. So same thing. So it's good to listen to music. I like to listen to music, but I listen to Logan Motoshami all the time on Housing Wire Daily. He's very smart about what's going on. He does daily updates on there. And so I have certain people on my podcast that I listen to. And so if I am absorbing, 10 hours of someone smarter than me every week compared to 10 hours of music, well, in a year, I'm gonna be way further along, be way smarter.
And you've proven that.
Thanks, appreciate it.
You don't know this, but you have a desk outside of your office, an open area. And I have told new agents, if you want to be successful, go sit right there and listen to Hyrum.
That's funny.
It's the truth. And there was a particular day where I was feeling down and I just didn't want to make my calls. And then I could hear you because I'm a loud talker and so are you. And so I heard you and I thought, you know what? There's it in there. I should make this. I can be brave enough to make this one call.
Yeah.
So your influence, your sphere of influence here, you may not be able to comprehend or see, but you have made that difference. And that's why we wanted to introduce you to this group, because you are a master.
Appreciate it.
It's the truth, and you've earned that title.
Appreciate it.
So anyone, it's question time. Does anyone want, by the way, if you're a new agent, I want you to go back and rewatch this recording and take notes. It will be your game changer. But questions, Dailies.
This isn't so much questions as much as it is bucket fill for Hyrum. So he and I started about the same time. And I really wanted to do an open house, but I was terrified to do it by myself. And so Hyrum was doing, I think it was Annie Cannon, Maybe it was Amy Gibbons. It was one of the other, because I got them mixed up all the time when I first started here. Anyway, it was one of their listings and he was doing it. And so, but I think she had advertised in the Facebook group that she needed somebody. And when I called her, then she said Hyrum was already doing it. But she said he might let you do it with him. And so I reached out to him. He was very gracious. He said, sure, that I could shadow him doing the open house. And he was, I'm old enough to be his mother. You know what I mean? So I felt really dumb. But he was so sweet and so already with it, that he taught me a lot just in that very first open house, and he made me feel really comfortable. And anyway, I have never forgotten that, Hyrum. So
you are welcome. I just have a few things that, you can do your questions, but a few things that I kind of wanted to chat about. Let's see. Something that I also try to do is I try to make a list of lessons learned. And this is every deal, you're going to learn a new lesson. I just want to stand up.
I'm going to let you.
Because in every deal, something can go sideways. There's always a bump. And something that I think is super important, especially new agents, is setting expectations. When you also set expectations, don't say this will happen. Say it's likely this will happen, because your clients will remember everything that you say. So when it's in a contract, like, oh, you said you're going to do whatever you do. So set expectations of like worst case scenario, like this is what could happen. We might have to drop your house by $50,000, but I don't think so. I think we're priced really well. If you can set expectations, then it makes things a lot smoother, because when you hit that bump, if you prepared that for them, they're not going to be as mad at you on that. Creating systems. One thing that was kind of funny is I would show houses for Cody, And Cody's like, it's funny. My clients said that you were good, but you showed houses differently. I'm like, what do you mean? Because as a new agent, it's very nice to say, oh, this is a beautiful flooring. You have this awesome island, and you are projecting your opinion about the house to your client. That's not how you show your house. What you're supposed to do is you show them matter of fact, hey, that window is failing. There's a broken sealant, there's moisture. Not a big deal, but there's that. Like, hey, I can see some cracking over here. As long as it's not vertical, is this way. And then you say, how do you feel about this kitchen? How do you feel about this flooring? So instead, don't go in there and say, this is great, this is amazing. Well, because sometimes, there's one time on that showing, I was like, oh, there's some interesting tile, but you could replace it. And they're like, but we actually really like that tile. I'm like, that's not my job to tell them whether they if I like it or not. So that's something that's stuck with me that I think is very easy that no one teaches you, because there's a lot of stuff that you don't learn until you're in the fire. And showing house like that is something. Yeah, and then also as a new agent, like, again, it's hard to create enough work to stay busy for a day. I think that was really hard. I'm like, okay, I've called through everybody I've known, like, now what? Now what? And so trying to find like anything that you can possibly do. I know the Hayes teams are on top of doing open houses, and that's a small something. A lot of times you don't get a ton out of it. But a year ago, I was doing a year and a half ago, I did an open house for a small little condo at $350,000. They decided they want something bigger. We ended up building an $800,000 house. That was from an open house. Obviously, it took a little while to get there. And I think it's kind of interesting too, because a lot of agents won't do their own open houses. I try to, because one, you're supposed to be selling it, and it's probably easier for you to sell it than somebody else. So I always think it's good for you to do your own open houses. And if you can get a double end on it, that's fantastic. But those are, we talked about most of the stuff. Get a TC, be with someone smarter, 40 hours, 95.5. Yeah, that's the main points that I wanted to go over. So if anybody has any questions, happy to answer.
Expectations on a listing. Talk about a little bit more. I'm putting you on the spot, buddy, but
Do it.
You can handle it. Okay, I'm a seller. You talked about setting the expectations, and that really stood out because I think new and even experienced agents constantly got to be doing it for our folks because they remember everything we say. What's your conversation about pricing?
I first say, how direct do you want me to be? Do you prefer someone that wants to step on eggshell, or would you prefer an agent that's black and white and transparent? Typically, they're always going to say, I want someone that's honest. Okay, now they give you permission to be blunt and honest and not hurt their feelings. And I will usually kind of do a comp with them. Like, okay, here's your house. Here's what's been selling around it. This is how long it's taking. This is what the price they've reduced it to. So I usually base it off of this. And then I say, based off the information, what do you feel is a good list price? Because at the end of the day, this is you selling a house. And that's what I always tell. It's like, I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm here as an advocate. I'm here to give you my opinion. If you want to, list it at this price, you absolutely can. I'm just gonna give you my opinion, and we're gonna go from there. So setting expectations, I had some where I said 865, and they were like, well, I think we can just do 880. I'm like, that's totally fine. Here's why I wouldn't, but this is your home. We can absolutely do that. Listed at 880, 2.5 weeks, nothing. Dropped to 865. A lot more traffic, went under contract. So when we had to drop it to 865, it wasn't much. It wasn't hard at all because they already knew that they were overpriced because I told them they were overpriced. So when I said, hey, we haven't had any offers after 2 weeks, we really need to cut it. Are you okay if we go to what I did first? And I kind of plant that in their head. They're like, I was right. Especially when you go under contract, then they're going to believe you a little bit more on that. So that's kind of how I approach it. Is at first I ask, can I be direct with you? And of course they're going to say yes. And so then you kind of show them the data, and then you give them an answer. And they have to, well, after going through the data, it's hard for them to be like, well, my house is worth $80,000 more than everybody else, because they're like, well, then they'll see it because you can see all the pictures and everything. But yeah, if you have permission to be a bad guy, then it doesn't go across as bad.
Nice. Thanks.
Hyrum. I'm sure he's around the office. If you can't see him, you'll be able to hear him.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Always knock on my door. Happy to help whoever wants help.
I love the confidence that you exude. And honestly, everything you shared today was right in the book. You hit it right on the head. So thanks everyone for being here. Let's give him a hand. And it looks like we have a nice lunch to partake in. So go for it. Thanks for being here.